Do our midweek watch list video. This is gonna be for going into Wednesday, August 16th. Usually I do these after Wednesday, but we kind of got that midweek change up that we kind of wanted to see. So we're doing a video just a day early, I guess. So basically right here with SPY, we have this trend line area that is retesting or testing. And if this breaks, then I'm thinking that we're going to make a move down to that 439 to 438 area, 437.3. So I say that because the important thing to note here is not the trend line, but the retest. That 444 level right here, that area, I should say, this should have held as support and then sent this back higher, but it did not. So we saw some bearish price action here, so we were hesitant to believe that it was going to hold for more than a short-term bounce. You had multiple bounces, so it kind of did its job from a short-term perspective, but it did not hold as longer-term support, more medium-term support, I'll say. So now what we have here is just this triangular look with, the apex meeting right here with those lines. So here's your apex. So this is telling us the SPY is bound to break in the very near term. So if you hold below this, you're inclined to lean bearish. If you do manage to get above that, you still need to clear 445, say 30, because you got that old support right there that should now act as new resistance. So what I'll be looking for is just some continuation to the downside. Maybe we retest 445 and then flush, or maybe we just retest 444 and then flush. But as long as you're holding below 445, then you are inclined to lean bearish to at least test this support area. That's what I'm looking at on SPY. And I say all of that. I'll add in conjunction with that TA, just the VIX. This thing is just going berserk. This is probably one of the crazier days I've seen in a little while. It closed at highs. This is not good for people bullish on the S&P 500. So basically what you have here with the VIX is this trend line area. This thing had been tagged so many times. So it is pretty important, right? So 2, call it 3, 4, 5 times, and then you flush through, and then you hold the retest, and then you reject, right? So basically what we're looking at, what's important is that November 2021 low point. So if I back out, you'll see, I'll make it thicker real quick. That's the point that's crucial here for people, that are bullish on the VIX, or for people that are bearish on SPY, looking at the VIX to give us, bearish indications on SPY. That's what you want to hold, that November low. You want to hold above that trend line area, but of course we kind of find our levels instead of, just a line, a trend line. So basically what you have here is a retest of this old support that acted as resistance, and now the VIX is looking like it wants to reclaim it. So if you can reclaim all of this, you got room to move higher. So we'll keep that on watch, and that's what we're looking at on the VIX. And I will say the last time I really used this, somewhere up in this time frame for the retest, but also on this breakdown, once we broke this, I went crazy bullish, like very aggressively bullish. I'm talking like 1,000 to 4,000 type bullish, because I was so aggressive with my positions on SPY, or I think it was SPY and IWM actually. So that was early June this year, and I figured once we broke that right here, I figured we were going to break this support as well as the trend line. So that's just kind of the last time I really looked at that, and you see we dumped straight through. So that was a really good trade. So now we kind of back watching the VIX, just with how crazy it's been today, because I honestly thought we were going to flush through, but it held and bounced and just ripped. So the next thing we're looking at is QQQ. This has an inside bar that you can play. You have this channel that it is testing or kind of respecting, I'll say. There's the top part of your channel. Here's your bottom part. That's on the lower time frame, so we'll take a look at that later. But sorry about that. Basically, what you have, retesting this trend line that it already broke from the March lows. So once you broke those March lows, you started to lean bearish, and it broke, and then it retested on Monday, and it's appearing to hold. And like I say, now if you just respect that channel, then you can probably get a move back down to say 363, and then maybe even 358 price area if 363 then fails. So basically, you want similar concept. You want to see QQQ hold below. You can even tighten it down and say hold below 370. So I say if QQQ holds below 370 from this old support point, which was the original break, then you've got reason to believe that you can head down and move lower. So keep that on watch. And like I say, going to the lower time frame, you can kind of see the channels a little bit better on QQQ. And then you can see the channel here on SPY. So just keep those on watch, keep that in mind. The next couple things we'll breeze through real quick. I don't really care too much about individual tickers, but every now and again I might trade them, because I mean, I just never really know what to expect from them. You know, I hardly really know what to expect from the indices, but I can trust the indices a lot more. Basically, you know, I don't care about head and shoulders. What's going to matter here is this 440 pivot point. So if NVIDIA fails to hold that, you see it was resistance, then it was support, then it was support, and you flush through, and now you're trying to reclaim it. So if you lose this, these are the price points that I have in mind as targets. Obviously, you need to flush through this in order for this to be a price target, but that's just what we're looking at on that. Google, similar to SPY QQQ, just a triangular type consolidation, is getting real tight. You know, I had upside bias on this, but if the market gonna tank, I would anticipate Google could go with it. You know, best case scenario for Google bulls is that it just goes sideways while the market resumes a leg down. So Google is on watch, because if this breaks, this support area breaks, we can start to fill that gap some more. And obviously, if you break through 126, then you can probably fill the entire gap. So just keep that on watch and understand that Google could break either way, because by the time this gets to this apex, if it waits that long, then we could be looking at bullish momentum and take this back to the upside like we initially were anticipating, but it's failing to hold above 130, 132. So we just got to take what we're being given. AMD put in a very nice bounce right at these lows after multiple tests right here in that 107.6 area. So with that trend line type breakout, I can't quite say that I have a setup necessarily on this in the super short term, but longer term, if it's gonna fail, then you can catch a nice trade on a break below 108 area. So keep that on watch. But obviously the main things right now are SPY and QQQ. The last thing I will mention, very sadly, is IWM. I'm not gonna short this, so I wasn't even gonna include it in the watch list video. I have no interest in shorting this, just because I was just uber bullish on this. Thought the retest was going to work, but this is in a very similar situation as SPY QQQ, where it's retesting that old resistance and it's just failing to hold, man. We're not getting any real good signals, any good buy signals right now from this. So if that fails, the next place we're looking is down here, and then down here, and then down here, and then down here. So, man, I'm hoping that IWM, holds it down, and, just at the least goes sideways for us, because if that fails, then this is indeed a triple top. 1, 2, 3 triple top, and IWM is gonna make a move back down to those lows like that support like we just talked about. But man, I really do hope, even if that does happen, maybe later in the future, IWM can push into this volume gap that we talk so much about. There's a really terrific, fantastic setup that I really do hope gets to play out. But we got to reclaim 190. There's no point in rushing in trying to buy when we can't even hold above 190. So IWM has to get back above those highs now, which may be a struggle because this thing is just shooting straight on down. So, I mean, we'll see what we get. But for the most part, VIX looking bullish. SPY looking bearish. If SPY can't get it back above 444, 445, then we're going to see them low, we're going to be around them low 440s and high 430s. And that is what I project, is happening. And this box is here just from something I was talking about earlier in the Discord, where I was just saying, as long as we in that orange box, I ain't really interested in trading because it just was mad choppy. Look how many candles right in that box with like rarely any good signals. So that's pretty much everything. Midweek watch list, and if anything major changes, which I kind of anticipate won't, we're looking at some good downside to catch this week for sure, or the next few days. So definitely looking forward to this, and just keep your stops tight, respect your stop loss, and just be ready to take some banger setups, man. I'll catch y'all later.